Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040, bringing to you some very shocking and sad news from the world of comic books, where it has been announced and confirmed that Boom Studios are set to end Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic book run after 8 years, with the final issue going to be called Darkest Hour, which is set to be released on July 31st, 2024. This is very shocking news for me because I've been collecting the Power Rangers comic books ever since it started back in 2016, and I have bought every single issue that Boom Studios have ever put out. I don't think I've ever missed one issue. I've bought all of the prequels, all of the one shots, all of the specials, you name it. Anything to do with Power Rangers, I've bought it and I practically own every single title. And, we've just had Power Rangers The Return, which was written by Amy Jo Johnson. Absolutely fantastic comic book. I think Amy Jo Johnson is going to have a great career, not just as a film director, but I think as a comic book writer as well. She really put out a great story for this four-part miniseries. I still haven't got to issue one yet, but I will get around to it eventually when I do find a copy. So the big question that has to be asked is, why are they ending this now? It just seems a bit of a surprise. From my understanding, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is probably one of the biggest selling comic book titles of all time. And that's above Marvel, that's above DC, IDW, Image, you name it. Power Rangers is considered to be one of the biggest selling comic book time. And, for it to end after 8 years is a bit sad. I thought maybe they could have waited until 2026, wrap it all up after a decade. But I suppose Boom Studios have their reasons. I suppose they want to get out while the going is good. I think from what I've read, Boom Studios have struck up a deal with Hasbro, and I think Hasbro wants to completely reboot the entire franchise. So that's fair enough, I suppose. I thought the logical thing that was going to happen was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers concludes, and then we get straight into Zeo, just like they did in the TV show. That's what I thought the direction they were going in, but I'm afraid it wasn't meant to be. Now, from what I'm reading, and this is a little quote from Melissa Flores, who is penning the story for the final issue of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. As I mentioned, it's going to be called Darkest Hour. And this is what she had to say. After nearly 2 years, the darkest hour comes to a close. This event has been one of the biggest tasks of my career, but I've enjoyed every single heart-wrenching minute. Although I put our poor Rangers through the ringer, I hope the ending is as satisfying for the reader as it was for me to write it. How is this going to end? Now, another thing about this comic book is there's a little synopsis about this. It all ends here. With the morphing grid in peril, the people of Earth are left without the Power Rangers to protect them. The ultimate battle against Dark Spectre will play out with unexpected consequences, while an unlikely group of rogues, villains, and rangers make strange company. But even if they win, can they rebuild everything they've lost? Well, sounds very interesting to say the very least. And, with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers run that Boom Studios have been putting out, I will give the devil its due. They have put out some unbelievable story arcs, and in a way, for me as a fan of Power Rangers, they've kind of filled in a lot of the gaps that the TV show didn't really address, or they just kind of ignored. Take, for example, when Tommy returned as the White Ranger, and he was declared as the new leader of the team, and Jason just stood there and said, "This is great." He was like, okay with it. Me as a fan, even though I was very young at the time, even I found it a bit head scratching. How can Jason be okay with this? He just practically got demoted, and I'm sure, he's happy that Tommy's back and all, but Jason being the guy who pretty much carried the entire team on his back, and he's just getting shoved out the doors. You're not needed anymore. This guy's taking over. The comic books showed you a lot of stuff that you didn't see, and I thought that was really good. And same with Tommy when he joined the team after they freed him from Rita's evil spell. In the TV show, Tommy, as the Green Ranger, he was welcomed with open arms. You know, it was great to have him there, but at the same time, even I questioned as a young fan, how can they be okay with this guy being on the team? This guy tried to destroy them all. This guy did some terrible, terrible things. The comic books showed Tommy trying to win their trust, trying to win everyone, and trying to earn his place and earn their respect. Great stuff. Although some of the things in the comic books didn't make sense from a canon point of view, like mobile phones and computers, especially as this is supposed to be the 90s and a lot of that technology didn't become available till early 2000s. There were a few things like that that were a bit questionable, but by and large, all of the comic books have been fantastic. The whole story arc with Lord Drakon, showing us an alternate Earth where Tommy stayed evil and merged the Green Ranger and the White Ranger power to become the ultimate evil. Tremendous stuff. The Shattered Grid story arc was great. Necessary Evil. So many good story arcs came out of the Boom Studios run. And you had the prequel as well, Go Go Power Rangers, which showed the team in their early days after they got their powers pre Tommy. Excellent stuff. There's been so many good story arcs that have come out of this 8-year run. And I'm a little bit bummed out it's coming to an end. I really am, but I'm hoping the ending delivers. I'm hoping we get a good, epic, satisfying conclusion to this run. And I'm interested to see how this is all going to play out in Darkest Hour. But I am sad. I am going to miss this. I thought maybe we would have got a mini series of Zeo. Maybe they could have snuck that in there. But it is sad. But what a run it has been. 8 years. That's incredible. And, when they announced that there was going to be a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic book, I was very intrigued. I thought, how's this going to work? Can this work? I thought, yeah, this will probably last for about 6 issues. That's about it. Here we are, 8 years later, and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic book, just that run alone has been 8 years. But think about all the other offshoots we've had: Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers, Go Go Power Rangers, Power Rangers Unlimited, you name it. So many different spin off titles, all connected to this massive universe and all this storytelling. So it is going to be interesting to see how they're going to wrap this up. But I think for me, as a fan, the comic books is some of the best storytelling I have ever read out of anything that's anything like DC or Marvel. It's really, really been good. And, I'm sad, but at the same time, I'm intrigued to see how they're going to end this. But it's going to be a hell of a final ride and should be a good one. So let's go and let's see what happens next. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. How do you guys feel about Boom Studios ending the Power Rangers comic book run after 8 years? Are you sad? How do you think they're going to end Power Rangers in Darkest Hour? Do you think they should have waited until they should have just ended it and then go straight into Zeo afterwards? What's your favourite comic book title from the Boom Studios run? Is it Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Go Go Power Rangers, Power Rangers Unlimited, Mighty Morphin, or Power Rangers? What's your favourite story arc? Is it Necessary Evil, Shattered Grid, the Lord Drakkon story arc, Green Ranger Year 1? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.